good evening, good evening. I'm back. I know you guys are saying, hey, where's she been? What's been going on with the dynamic perspective? But let me tell you, a lot's been happening. It was a well needed vacation and getting some charity work done as well, too, during that time. Just giving back to the community, especially during the holiday seasons, is one of the biggest things. And, I'm a big component of giving back to the community. But I'm back, you guys. Yes, and I got some things to tell you. Let's talk about the upcoming holidays. But before I begin, let's first let's give our praise, blessings, and speedy recovery to those that were affected at the shooting at the Walmart. That we pray for those families. We pray for a speedy recovery, and we really take a moment to look into the importance of mental health solutions, any type of programs, rehabilitation, things that we can provide those that are having issues with mental health, because mental health not only affects one person, it affects us all. So to those families, we pray for speedy recovery. And for those that lost loved ones, our deepest condolences to you all. I also want to talk about the importance of now. 'Tis the season to be giving. And, we've heard about a lot of people running out and buying gifts and, wanting to wrap these things underneath the tree. And I said, I think this year, because of everything that's happened within this year, maybe just being the present yourself would be a good way to start the holiday. Being present, being able to listen more attentively, being able to give those hugs when those hugs are needed, being able to ask someone, how are they doing? I think you, the individual, will be the best present that you can give anyone today in this holiday season. Reason being, we have seen a lot of challenges, a lot of lives lost. And again, life is not promised to us. So love on the ones that you have the opportunity to love on now and give them their roses now. Let's not wait until they pass. And that's just my tidbit for the day. Another thing I want to talk about is, let's look at the fantastic things that we have accomplished this year. I mean, Virginia has definitely showed up and showed out for many of things. We had our own icon here be recognized with her own street naming. Also was a recent honorary graduate from Norfolk State University. The Battle of the Bands was incredible for the first female lead majorette in NSU. Behold the green and gold. I mean, we've had so many things going on. We also saw how Miss Shantae Miller and Parents Against Bullying have increased her plateau, became a recent author. So, I mean, there's so many things going on right now that we should be celebratory and be able to say, it was a job well done. So for all those that have continuously put their efforts out to make sure that our community gets stronger, we get connected, let's celebrate those successes and accomplishments this year, because without those organizations, we would not be able to help all those individuals with the resources that we have. So I definitely want to applaud everybody there. So I'm gonna give a shout out and a clapping on for everybody there. And I've heard a lot of people talk about what is the importance of this holiday. Now, okay, I'm definitely one for a present. I think a present is great, but I think I decided this year I just want to just kind of be the one to sit back and just take a deep breath and exhale and take out all the negative and bring in all the positive endorphins and be able to just, smile and be cute. How about I can smile and be cute at the same time? So if I smile and be cute, I think that'd be a lot better so that people can be able to feel the warmth and, the smile. I think that's going to be the important thing. I think that's what I'm going to give to everyone. So later on today, I'd like everyone to put in their comments, what is it that you're going to give this year that is not something that is broad, something that is going to be heartfelt to your family and friends and colleagues, and to those you spend a lot of your time with, because most of the time when you're at work, they become your work family. So, what are you going to give those individuals? I definitely want to recognize all of the nonprofits. I cannot say without a doubt the unwavering support all of the nonprofits have given throughout this entire year. There's so many that I couldn't even begin to name them, but I definitely want to recognize all the nonprofits that have went out there and fed the homeless, that have worked within the domestic violence shelters, that have worked with the after school programs for the children, that have been there for resources for mental health. I mean, the gambit is long. So salute to all the nonprofits. And again, please support your local nonprofits. Your donations and generosity helps all nonprofits go a long way. And I'm speaking not only for my own nonprofit, for all the other nonprofits out there. Please give, because your support helps us continue to be out there, boots to the ground, helping all individuals. Now, this show, you guys, I'm really, really excited about for a couple of things, and I get really excited when I talk to another powerful woman, because I can feel her energy and see where she's come and where she's going to. So this interview is really excited to me, because this is going to be the last true interview for this year, because the next show next week will be a recap of all of the shows thus far. But this interview, I'm just going to say the word emerge. And we know in the word emerge, the definition means so many. When you look at the word emerge is a verb, right? So now everyone get your dictionaries out, pull out your Google, translate and all those good things. But the word emerge is to bring about a change, to bring a new, to come out, to appear, to recover from a difficult time. So just keep that word emerge is one of the words we're going to hear later on tonight. And the other word I'm going to say is commissioner. And when we think of the word commissioner, we mean to put out, to be able to implement and adapt, and to also make change. So these two words significantly meet this criteria for this young lady that's coming on the show, and I'm very honored. And I would definitely love for you guys to just join me as I read a little bit about her background, and then from there we're going to jump right into meeting her. So, as a CEO of Emerge Industries, she oversees the entire organization. As a seasonal speaker, she transforms lives in the message that she gives and the women that she meets. And she talks to all ages and backgrounds. As an inspired leader, she's able to not only see the potential that someone has, but to also open up their minds for creativity and cultivation. As the commissioner of the revenue, she's responsible for a large budget and implementing policies and procedures within the city budget that helps the taxpayers of that city. So this is a lot of responsibility for someone to carry. And when I say she wears it well, ladies and gentlemen, she absolutely wears this well. So please, everyone, join me as I am honored to welcome Ms. Tiffany Boyle. She is the Commissioner of Revenue for the City of Newport News and also the CEO of Emerge Industries, people. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and thank you.
Thank you.
So good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. Happy holidays, seasons, greetings, and all that. And I thank you so much for being on the show tonight. This is a really, really important show and having you.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here.
So, like I said, just your energy alone and the two facets of responsibilities that you carry just shows the depth of creativity, commitment, and cultivation you have for people. And that is such a gift that many people don't realize, that it takes a skill to empower and lead, but it also takes a skill to find ways to adapt and implement. And you provide that not only through being the commissioner of the revenue, but you also provide that from being the CEO of Emerge, and as well as one of the co-founders for another organization. So, I mean, you have your hands in everything, but it all cultivates in the pot of inspiring And I commend you for that, because I don't think people really realize how much you are responsible for and the expectations that you've put out to get greatness from others. So I thank you for that. So we're going to have some fun today. I just want to have some girl talk. I ain't even thinking about no scripted questions. I think we just going to have some girl talk.
Let's do it. I'm all good for girl talk.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. So, for a lot of people out there, and I've had this question a lot, what exactly is the responsibility of the commissioner of the revenue for a city? What does that all entail?
Okay, so Commissioner of the Revenue is, I've only seen it in Virginia. We are a special state where we have 5 constitutional officers. So my job is literally written into the Constitution of Virginia. And in a short explanation, Commissioner of Revenue is responsible for administering and assessing certain taxes. So within my office, specifically in Newport News, Virginia, we administer and assess 23 different taxes. And that goes anywhere from personal property. So if you have a vehicle, mobile home, airplane, boat, there's several different types. All the way to business licenses. So every business that you see in the city of Newport News has to come through my office to get issued a business license. We also do services that we provide for our taxpayers. We do state income tax filing. We do a lot of disabled or elderly tax relief, whether that be for your vehicles or your real estate. So we just do a plethora of different things, but really administering and assessing the taxes.
Now, I know a lot of people probably cringe when they heard taxes. Everybody's been that word taxes. You know, everybody get the little face when they hear the word taxes.
Right,
But can
right.
you explain to them the importance of your position and how the taxes benefit the city?
Yeah, so I like to say that people in Newport News don't really have a problem paying taxes because their commission revenue is so nice. But I what I like to explain to people, and I think it's really about education, is that the taxes you pay is your investment into your locality. It's an investment into your community. And so therefore, with that investment, that means you're a stakeholder, you're a stockholder. That means you have a seat at the table in where that funding
Yes.
goes to. So, in short, let's say our office assesses over $300 million. The city revenue base, their budget is off of around 600 and something $1 million. So half of that is coming from this office. And without that, you would not have teachers, you wouldn't have police officers, firefighters, all of your city employees, the streets that you drive on. It's just all of that after school activities, our school system, all of that is getting paid out of the taxes that you pay.
Now, see, everyone, now that it's been broken down, you have made an investment in your city. So the next time you get ready to say, oh, I can't stand these taxes, just think about the ground that you're walking on, or that the fire department that's coming to put out the fried turkey that you done burnt up because you ain't pay attention to the instructions because you dropped the turkey in the water before, those things. Just pay attention to those things. But it's important that you reinvest in your city. And it's good to know that we have a group of individuals in the Commissioner of Revenue's office that's responsible for that responsibility. So thank you for explaining that, because girl, people get crazy with these taxes on all they want to do is file the taxes. They don't want to know what they are.
That's right. And
I tell you.
Knowledge is power.
Yes, yes, and for them too, it's also a sense of pride in knowing that their city is going to be well maintained, because what you put into it is exactly what you get out of it. So that's very important as well too. Now, as an integral part of city government, and being a Black woman sitting in such a powerful seat, how do you maintain a balance?
A balance with like my life.
Yes.
With my life. Oh, yes. And I am happy to say I am the first African American to be in this position. So with that comes a whole other set of
Yes.
responsibilities.
Can we get that? Thank you very much. Thank you.
But I am definitely a firm believer in a work-life balance. I always say maybe I have too much life versus work, but I can't do my job unless I'm balanced at home, unless I'm calm, unless I'm relaxed. I'm not saying that I don't get stressed at times, but to know that there's good stress, to keep me going. So I do different things. Like I make sure I go on vacation. I make sure I prioritize my daughter, to go to her events, to make sure I'm there for her. And I also express that to my staff. I'm like, it's important for you to have the same work life balance as well, because I need you to be happy. I need you to be productive. And if you're not happy, then that's going to come across to the taxpayers. So it's super important.
And I don't think too many people appreciate that. They assume city workers don't have that work life balance, that it's all about just working for the city. And now, in the type of environment that we are now, that's important because then we can see the signs of a burnout, whether it be physically or emotionally, or just being disconnected and disengaged from the workforce. So thank you very much for recognizing that you give that to your team as well too. I think a lot of leaders need to understand that your team is very important to how
Mm-hmm.
your office runs and your organization runs. So I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Does
So now
everyone take advantage of it? No.
that's true. That's true. I think we're gonna have a class on that, Tiffany 101, how to influence work-life balance. That's
Yeah.
gonna be on 2023. Y'all, I'm putting it out there right now. You heard the diva said it, okay?
That's
Um,
right.
I call you an influencer. I had a discussion with someone today. I said she's an influencer. I said because everything she touches influences one way or another. And it's always about what's in the best interest for people. I said, so her being an influencer is something that I gravitate to. Do you find yourself being in a position of influence when you don't expect it?
Yes. And it's weird to say because you always are trying to balance being humble with so called being an influencer, just recognizing where you are in life. And I can say, you think of being an influencer that you have to have millions of followers. You have to, get so many likes or engagement or anything like that. And that's not true. Like you can influence just one person, you can influence a group of people. And I take that very seriously on how I brand myself, what I post on social media, how I interact with people out in public, just because I know people perceive me in a certain way. And I want to make sure that I'm influencing in a positive way and really practicing what I preach. And it comes in weird times because, like, I ran a campaign in 2017, and then when you see people following or mimicking or replicating what you've done, what you've worn, how you talk, at first you're like, "Oh, I did that," but then it's like, that's flattery. You're paving the way, and that's
Mhm.
just the position that I have put myself in, that God has put me in. So it comes with responsibility, and I don't take it lightly at all.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. So when I say influencer, you guys, I'm telling you, I read your bio. I kind of went back on your website, and I was like, I haven't met her yet, but I'm sitting here geeking like she's an influencer. Oh my god! Like I can't wait to talk to her. My producer was like, she is sitting outside, and we ain't even. It's not time for her to even be here yet. I said, I'm ready to talk to Tiffany. Y'all playing around. Let's go. Let the door. Let's get it going. So
Well,
yes.
I was late. Email says 6:45. Look.
Look, that's all right. I was here at 6:17. They was like, yeah, you real early. Like I said, but Tiffany coming on. Yo, come on, let's go. Let's what we got to do. Let me get my lipstick on. Let's make it happen. Since you've been in city government, what things have you implemented that has made a tremendous change for the public at large that you're proud of?
Um, Ooh, okay. How much time do you have? No, let me stop. I don't know.
We can look here. We gonna learn something. Y'all get the pen and paper. I keep telling y'all, pay attention.
You put the word tremendous on there, so I don't know if they're tremendous changes. And because it is taxes, sometimes it's not super exciting, but this office has done a lot of things that we've implemented. So the first thing was really important to me was making our our business license to be more accessible. Our office was running off of a very old school software system, and people had to, when they went to go renew their business license, they couldn't do it online. So that means you have to mail it in. That means or you have to come in, and sometimes the mail comes late, then maybe you're getting penalty and interest, or maybe you can't make it away because these are business owners from your position or your job, or you get sick or something. Now you're getting more penalty and interest. And my job is on behalf of the taxpayer. I'm here for them. They're the ones who voted me in. So one of the biggest hurdles was making sure we got our old system. Now we have a new system, web-based. And if you are a business owner and you're renewing, you can now renew online. If you are a restaurant, and this was very key to a lot of business owners, if you have our business related taxes, like meals tax, admissions tax, lodging tax, all of that is due the 20th of every month. You can now pay that online. Could you imagine being a restaurant owner, working all these hours and having to stop what you do, calculate taxes, and then come in to pay on the 20th of every month? If not, you get penalty and interest.
Right.
That's a lot. Or you try to throw it in the mail, and we all know how the postal service works, so it comes in late. That's a lot, and especially if you are a small business, and you're running on a tight profit margin or revenue margin, 10% penalty and however much interest is a lot of money. So I would never want taxes to make or break a business. So that was one of the biggest things. And we are still working on that. We have our business license stuff. We are now moving on to personal property. So that's a big thing, especially internally. It'll be more user friendly for us. We started a grievance policy. We did small things too. Like, I know it sounds simple, but this office was very blah when I came in, and you can see like the color in my background. We just painted the office. We got new carpet. I'm working on us getting new desks, and we changed our break room colors. And I know that sounds small, but that just changes the atmosphere. If you're coming in here 8 to 9 hours a day for 40, for 5 days a week, that helps with morale. That helps with customer service. So that was one of really the first things that I accomplished. We started things like, I'm big in education. So we started workshops where we actually go outside of our office and we are explaining to different groups of people, one, how to start a business. If you're elderly, we're talking to you or your caregivers about our tax relief programs, to really explain them, because I'd hate for you to be 80 years old and you didn't know about the tax relief program, or you didn't know exactly how to fill out the application, and then it comes time and you're past due and we can't give you the tax relief you need. So we do that. My favorite is Commissioner's Cash, where it's this big dollar bill and we take it around to the schools and we talk to the kids, and it's really, well, if you wanted to start a business, how would you do that? So on this dollar bill, and they're all excited to get this large dollar bill, it's, what's the name of your business? What type of business are you going to have? How much money are you going to make? That's always funny to ask kids.
Right. I'm sure they give you a lot of good numbers, don't they?
From $10 a week to $100,000 a week. And it's interesting. And it's nice to see the kids who are like, I've never thought about having a business. I wanted to be a police officer, or I wanted to be a football player. And I'm like, that's great. But how can you turn that passion into a business? So, and it gets their wheels turning. And then an important question that we have on the back is, who can help you with starting this business? Because I want them to know it's a team effort. Like, we can't do everything on our own. So then they start thinking, maybe my parent or my teacher or my friend or my aunt. So it gets them really thinking. That's my favorite. We do things like, we have Commissioners in Cans, which is our food drive. I was very adamant about not just being in the office and using our influence, like you said, to make an impact in our community. And so we do, and it's across the state. We invite all the commissioners of the revenue to join us in our food drive. And then we do that in August. We used to do it in February. Now we moved it to August, because both of those months are very low on food donations for our food banks. Right. So we do that as well.
Well, I mean, you have your hands in everything, and that's not, and that, I'm going to switch gears now because that same energy goes into emerge. So, I mean, it it's like a hand in glove relationship. Now, tell us about how you came about emerge. I mean, the concept. What made you have that aha moment to say, "I'm getting ready to start this, and this is how I want to empower women in the community."
So Emerge started really in 2014, and our first issue of our magazine was in 2015, and it really started with wanting to connect people, wanting people, small businesses and entrepreneurs, to know that they're special. And when we look at magazines, we usually see these huge celebrities, or we see huge CEOs from the Forbes 500 list, and that doesn't really relate to me as much. I'm a small business owner. It's a few of us that run Emerge together. And, I wanted to talk to other business owners that have that same grit, that same hustle, that same work-life balance as well. So we started doing more of an entrepreneur lifestyle. So we talk anywhere from meals prep, if you're a busy business owner, to workout plans, to how do you emerge, to taxes, to franchising. We touch on everything that we could possibly touch on, and it has emerged. So now we have our magazine, we have our annual event, which next year will be September 16th through the 18th. We do have a radio show that we interview at least two business owners every week. So that's exciting. Yeah, we do all that.
Now, I'm going to just ask, girl, do you ever sleep? I just want to put that out there. Do you ever find some time just to sit in the chair and be like, whoo?
Yes, I sleep too much. I wish I could sleep. I wish I was one of those people that was like, oh, I only slept 5 hours and I'm good to go. But no, I have to sleep 8.
I'm not even mad at you. Now tell us about this ladies around God. Like let's dive into that. That is so powerful in itself.
So the business is called Ladies Around the Globe, and that is a sisterhood. We are a women's network, and it's a membership base. So you can join, you can start a region if you'd like. Right now we have 5 I believe we have 5 regions. We might have 4. We have 757, which is where I am, Hampton Roads. We have Richmond area in Virginia. We have New York City, and we have Atlanta. So we have 4 regions. And it really started, it's 4 of us as co-founders, and we really were like, during the pandemic, it started off, we wanted to travel. Like, we're going to travel every year, we're going to do such and such. So we went to Caribana in Toronto in 2019. That's when it really wasn't quite established. And then the pandemic hit for 2020. So we started doing like online Zoom brunches and Zoom conversations. And we were like, we really want to spread sisterhood. We want to teach women that we can collaborate, we can connect, we can support each other, and that it's a growing process, and it takes work to do that. So that's how Ladies Around the Globe started. Now we have different aspects of that. So we do have Ladies Around God, because God is first in everything that I do, and the other ladies as well who are co-founders. So what we have is we invite one prayer warrior every month. We pray via Zoom at 6 a.m. So it's my one early day. First Friday of every month. And eventually we will probably have some prayer breakfasts and prayer conferences as well. But we do Ladies Around Giving, where our sisters give back. We do Ladies Around the Gym, where we used to meet up, but now we have to figure out how to do it again because our trainer left us for more opportunities. And yeah, we have merchandise. We also do vendors. So if you are a member, you get a discount with different vendors. And we have a few, like we have pressed juices, we have teas. It's a lot of great things. Yes.
That whole concept too, again, just shows to the strength of you inspiring and motivating and being able to bring a collective together where women, especially, we're thinking about sisterhood versus competition, because especially when you think about social media now and everything that's out, it's glamorized as if women are to be pitted against one another, either by the way you look or where you're from or your economics, stability and stature. And to hear that you're promoting sisterhood is important nowadays, because we're losing the responsibility to being my sister's keeper, and being
Yes.
able to say, I need to be able to help this young lady in the time of need, meeting her where she's at, and not holding her down, but bringing her up. And I think that's so important. And when you look at the women of the Bible, that's all is what they've given us, especially Ruth. When we talk about Ruth and all that she's done, so you have definitely put that all together. And now to know at 6 a.m. you guys start off with a daily prayer. That is so important, because I don't think people realize it. Now, my grandmother always used to say, when you put your feet on the ground and you open your mouth, the first thing you should be saying is thank you, God, because you're able to do that. And people say, well, why do you say that? I said, because that's so important. That's the beginning of the day. You could
Yeah.
talk to God whenever you want, but in the beginning of the day, when the night has passed and you're starting anew, and you put your feet on the ground, that's the first thing that you're supposed to do.
That,
So I think
that's
that's
right.
so important with that. Now you got recognized as one of the uh, Business Week young 2019 under 40
Mhm.
recognized. And I said, wait a minute. I said, wait, she moving things. I said, wait, I'm a little bit past 40. I want to be in a magazine too. Let me talk to her and see how she did that.
Talk to me. Yes.
So, I mean, you have just done so much. All of the associations that you've been, all the nonprofits you've been a part of, all the charity work that you've done. What is your individual motivating factor? What aligns you spiritually to make you continue to do the things you do?
Well, I really just want to, I don't want to say give back, but I like to be a part of great movements. And I like to look at what can we do to provide a solution to whatever problem there is. And the nonprofits that I'm a part of have all come, I'm guessing, by the grace of God, because I didn't go looking for them. So I'm like, I didn't know they were my passion. Like the Peninsula Food Bank became a passion, and then I actually started the food drive before I became on the board. And then I'm now blessed to be with the Chrysler Museum, and I actually started just wanting, I'm an art appreciator, not an artist. I wish I was, but I'm an art appreciator. And I really wanted younger people between 25 and 45, to join the art culture, to not feel like it's for like the rich and famous, to say we can all come together and appreciate art from all walks of life. And so I started working with the museum prior to me being on the board, just because that was a passion of mine. And I like to try to create an environment in which I like to live. So I tend to go towards things like that.
Okay, okay, that makes sense. What advice would you give a young person now who's now saying, I don't know where to go. There's so many opportunities. Where do I start, or what resources do I reach out to so I could begin my career, whether it be entrepreneurship, whether it be working in the city, or just saying, you know what, I want to get into the arts. Like, how do you tell a young person to begin the process?
Mhm. First, I'd say you have to be persistent. You have to be dedicated. And that doesn't mean you have to go hard all the time. It just means you just have to go. And I like to tell people your timeline is your timeline. Nothing ever happens when you would like it to happen, and you don't have to be amazing in a year. But just know your timeline is your timeline. So have a goal. Um, and that goal doesn't have to be to a specific company. It doesn't have to be to a specific organization. It could just be like me. I like to connect people. So how can I connect people? And then you start from there. And then Google is your best resource, honestly. Research. Just do a lot of research. Look it up, YouTube videos. And then I would say find one person that you can go and that can be your mentor. And if not a mentor, at least a connector. So you find that one person that can introduce you to other people, and then that opens up doors. And then when the doors open up, you have to be ready to
Got to
be
be
ready.
ready. Got to be ready. Um, if there was one thing you could change about Hampton Roads, what would that be?
Woo!
Oh, she said,
What?
whoa, but she hit us with the whoa. Wait a minute.
Wait. Um, One thing I would say to improve our connectivity. We
Okay.
have so many great resources and so many great people in the Hampton Roads, but we are so disconnected that we can't utilize them to we can't optimize on that utilization for all the resources and all the people we have here. So if we could connect more and build more, that would make this a mega region and a force to be dealt with across the United States.
Exactly. I'm so in support of that comment. It's like we're in silos almost when you think about it, and I would say the media has a lot to do with that too, because even when they talk on the news, it's like Newport News, it sounds so far away, and I'm like, it's like really over here, But in Newport News, over there, this is what's going on, and
Right, right.
and it shouldn't be like that. And then another thing too, with the increase of violence, I'm not even going to say youth violence or gun violence, just violence in general, having us all come together and say, let's figure out a plan to not only engage a conversation with the community about the violence, but then to also find some tangible solutions so that the violence does not happen, whether it be workforce development, like getting these businesses to really take a risk on hiring those for workforce development, being able to put more educational components out there, finding additional daycare services so that those can get out there and be productive. Because when you, for lack of a better term, handcuff an individual from being his or her best self, then you find all these other things that become so large and then become glamorized because it's in a negative light. It's not in a
Mhm.
positive light. So I totally agree with you. If we optimize all the resources, we would be girl, they wouldn't be able to talk about Virginia. What they say, Virginia's for lovers. Well, they say Virginia's not only for lovers, Virginia's for the strong because we're going to show them what we do. They
That's
not
right.
going to be ready for us if we do all that.
You are definitely preaching to the choir. I'm working with somebody now on a bill that hopefully gets passed and can produce some revenue. And I'd like at least 1% of that revenue to go straight to after school programs, quality
Yes.
after school
After school
programs.
program.
We talk about violence and we talk about all this stuff, but it's like we never get to what the actual root of the problem is.
Mhm.
And if our kids, again, going with connectivity, if our kids had, and this is just youth violence, which our kids grow up, right? So
Right.
it's a systemic issue. If they had good quality programs, and nothing against our school system, they do great with what they have.
Hmm.
But if they could have extra money for buses, if they could have extra money for staffing, if they could have extra money just for the resources, more computers, more chess games, more artwork, more pianos, you know, our kids would have so many things available to them. And again, going back to connectivity, we have how many nonprofits like the Boys and Girls Club, and I just went to Sister rededication in Newport News of their building. They are there to help these youth, but they can only take so many because they don't have transportation. You
Right.
know, the kids don't have transportation. So I could go on and on about it. But yes.
No, no, but and it's and these are conversations. I mean, I know we have our city council meetings and we all get a chance to speak about these things, but I wish sometimes if we would just clear the plate and say, look, these are the things we need to address right now to make an effective and a change that we'll see immediately. If we were to put some more things out for corporate social responsibilities, for all these businesses that come and start new businesses, let's figure out a way to say, okay, well, you have your group volunteer, or we're looking for a donation for the. I mean, if we make it ways that we can make it attainable, we would have so much to offer. And then we won't have recidivism so much. We won't have the dependency on addiction and all these other things that fall under the term of violence against oneself or another. We wouldn't have these things. So yes, you're not preaching to the choir, girl. I think we can sing a song together, preaching to the people today.
Right.
Okay, look, you and my entire, Michael Jackson high tone voice, we can get it done today. Okay. Another question. In 5 years, where do you see yourself?
Whoo! Oh my goodness, you just hit me with all of them today. That's a good question. Being fully transparent, and I am a planner and a goal setter. I honestly don't know. I am at a time in my life where I am literally trying to figure that out. I have been. I even actually started. I started my goals. And if anybody wants me to share that, I definitely can. I started my goals the other day, writing it down, and I started 2023, 1 to 5 years, 5 to 10 years. But I have some things that I want to do. Like I just got into a small investor or small owner in a new restaurant on Granby Street in Norfolk called Birds and Bourbon. So that's a new. Everything deals with entrepreneurship or political stuff. Those are my two babies in my life, my two passions. And so I have small goals, right? I want ladies around the globe to do such and such and such and such in 5 years. I want Emerge to, impact this many people and have this much readership in 5 years. But what is the ultimate goal? I am still praying on and asking God for that guidance, because once I put it down on paper, he guides my steps. So I want to make sure that I'm writing the right thing down.
Exactly. I didn't. We gonna, girl. We gonna have to have a sidebar conversation, me and you, because we gonna hang out. We gonna get some things done. But
Yes.
I just want to tell you so much. I want to thank you so much for being on the show tonight, because you've shown that there is a possibility of people being able to say, you know what, I can do this, and own it and take accountability for it and make change from it. And I salute you being the first Black woman in this position of city government. You have now opened up the eyes for other young ladies to say, I can do this as well too. And to know that a lot of the policies and bills that you're implementing are going to make a positive change for the city of Newport News. And I would only hope that the community around you continue to grow with you, support you, and make sure that you are always, on your P's and Q's for success in that department, because you got this. Now, for the Emerge magazine, I'm getting my gown already for next year. I'm ready. I know what I'm wearing, girl. I'm ready. Girl, I'm ready. I'm ready to be there with you. So that's another accolade too that people need to take heart into. And I'm telling everyone that's out there, please go on their website. It's phenomenal. They got some really nice pieces. Subscribe to the magazine. Learn some things, because there are articles in there that can probably touch your life by reading some of the information that's provided. Before we go out, is there any words of wisdom, anything you want to give the viewers tonight before we head out, Tiffany?
Yes, I just want to say, know what your definition of emerge is, and emerge.
I think that's well said, you guys. I think she put it out there, and I think that's words for wisdom. Again, Tiffany, I thank you so much. I'm so excited for you to end my year with such a fantastic and inspirational podcast. This is definitely one I have been waiting for a while, and thank you for being so patient, with me. I appreciate it so much. We're gonna connect though afterwards, because girl, I look. I'm ready to eat. I'm ready to come to the restaurant. I'm ready to come to the award show. I'm ready. I'm just ready for everything, because that's on my list for this year. I am going to make it a point to get out more and be more visible, and just, make myself readily available to everyone. So please put me somewhere in that Rolodex, Danielle White somewhere, look for me somewhere in there. But before we go out tonight, you guys, let's give Miss Tiffany Boyle a round of applause, you guys, before we go out tonight. Thank you so much again. Peace and blessings. So now you guys know I'm coming to the end of the show, and I always want to thank everyone for watching tonight. We've learned some fantastic things about the city of the City of Newport News, Commissioner of the Revenue Office. We've learned some things about the Emerge magazine, its CEO, and everything that Ms. Boyle brings to the table. Again, that shows you that God makes no mistakes. But what he plans for you, he makes sure he provides you the vehicle to get there. So that is a lesson for everyone to be learned. As we are here in this holiday season, again, I continually ask you to support your nonprofits. Get out there, be a part of the change. Do not complain, be a part of the change. 'Tis the season to be giving. Give to a nonprofit that is out there, boots to the ground, making a change in the lives of those in the community. I'm so glad to be back with you guys this Tuesday. I missed you guys. I didn't have nobody to talk to for a couple of weeks. So now I'm back talking to you guys. I missed you guys. But we're coming up on the end of the year. It's been a blast. I want to thank Swag Media for always holding me down. You guys definitely keep me focused, prompt, and on time. To my sponsors, Marcus George from Allstate. We're in good hands with Allstate Insurance. Now it's definitely time for you guys to start looking at your policies and making sure all your paperwork is good for the upcoming year. To Mr. White Transport. He's always keeping it moving, baby. You're on the road, listening out. Mr. White Transport. And to I Shot You Media Concepts for keeping me fly, keeping me on time, and keeping them flyers coming. So I want to thank my sponsors for being with me this entire time. I want to thank all of my comments. I want to thank all of the followers, all that support the Dynamic Divas. You guys have been tremendous. Again, please keep a prayer for those victims and the Walmart mass shooting. We ask that you pray for the families that are in recovery, and we ask you to send your sincerest condolences to those that lost loved ones. We must keep mental health at the forefront of all our conversations, because mental health not only affects one, it affects everyone. But this is the end of my show. Until next Tuesday, you guys. You know the Diva loves y'all, and see y'all next week Tuesday. I'm out. Peace.
This portion of Dynamic Perspective is powered by Allstate Virginia. As always, you are in good hands. See Marcus George, a licensed agent. Call him right now for a discount. Save lots of money. Get your quote right now. He will definitely help you out. Call him now, 757-972-6249. Again, 757-972-6249. Allstate, you are in good hands with Marcus George.